Hi, friends. Welcome to the channel with expert defense attorney Tim Forshey here at C2 Tactical in Scottsdale. Want to talk today, had one on the channel not long ago of an off-duty NYPD cop. And he gets in a brouhaha with a couple of guys over some parking stuff. And that ends up with him firing 2 shots and fighting over his gun. They end up arrested. He ends up with his butt kicked. Bad juju. And I want to talk about it with the attorney.
To win the fight after the fight, you need help. After a use of force, I trust Firearms Legal Protection to help me win the fight for the rest of my life. From their 24/7 attorney-answered hotline to coverage for the use of all legal tools, Firearms Legal Protection has you covered. Get a discount by signing up at the link below.
I think he's going to get a lot of, well, here on the channel, he might catch a lot of grief. On the big channel, he did as well. I think in the court system, he's going to get a lot of deference because he's a cop.
I wouldn't disagree with that, but I wish that weren't the case.
Well,
I think that by and large, I mean, you got to understand that cops, here's the thing. If he was on duty and he was responding as best as he was able and he was lacking, then I couldn't agree more. This makes me think that this is one of those guys that thinks that because he has a badge 8 hours a day, that he's bulletproof and invisible 24 hours a day. The rules don't apply. And he can just say, I'm a cop, and everybody's just supposed to bow down and give him free donuts. I'm sorry to say that. I know that's a lot of stereotyping there, but that's the way that's the flavor I got off of this guy, right? He put himself in this position. It was road rage. Then he's the one that backed up, got out of the car, approached these guys, thought that his bravado, thought that his backup, thought that the helicopter and all the tools on his tool belt were going to help him. And I think he realized a little too late, no, I'm just some guy out at the bars. And I think that was, I think he paid for a dance that he wasn't ready to pay for. And so you're right. He might get more, especially in New York. I mean, I don't live there. Yeah. You always hear about the New York corrupt judicial system, right? But he shouldn't. I think he should be held to a higher standard, and I think he should be in more trouble than the average idiot because he knows better for sure.
And there's a bunch that we don't know here, right?
Absolutely,
So what we saw on camera, though, they had some kind of somebody's double parked, whatever, and somebody wants to get around and all this. Then they start yipping at each other. Remember, your ego is not your amigo.
I'm stealing that one. I've not heard that before.
And listen, your ego is not your amigo, and I don't care if we're talking about the cop or the other 2 fairly large dudes, right? Like, getting in arguments with people, this is the stuff that happens when you get in arguments with people.
I thought it was interesting that the 2, and granted, I think all 3 of these guys are probably, you know, I'm not hearing any of them as a babysitter anytime soon.
Sure.
Right? But you can hear the dialogue between the 2 bigger guys. Hey man, stop, you're kicking his ass, stop, knock it. He's a cop. Yeah, but he was an asshole. They said, I think that was like a quote several times.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you know, I can't really argue with what this guy's saying. I mean, he shouldn't be doing this. I mean, clearly he's a bad dude as well, but the cop kind of, you know, was the one that sort of, it looked like, maybe he didn't start it, but I think he escalated it.
Well, and so at the very beginning, he's pulling away, and then all of a sudden,
stops,
and now I'm going to back up. And then the dude like bashes in his back window. Wrong.
Right, wrong.
Destruction of property.
Correct.
Right? And so now a crime has been committed. Right. Okay, a crime has been committed.
The first criminal act wasn't the cops. I'll give you that.
Right.
For sure.
And so now the officer is, well, he's a duly sworn law enforcement officer, and now he's investigating a crime. Dude, you're off duty.
Yeah.
Right? Okay, so I got a lot of cop friends, okay? A lot of good cop buddies. And one of my favorite ones is a buddy who, one of his favorite t-shirts says, not a cop. And you're like, wait, but you are a cop. He goes, if I'm wearing that t-shirt, I ain't a cop.
That's right.
I am not on duty. They ain't paying me. I ain't doing that job. Yep. And off we go.
I need to wear a not a lawyer thing when I go to cocktail parties.
Yeah, so people stop asking you for free advice, right? Are you an attorney? Not right now, I'm not. No, sorry. Not. If you would like to talk to my secretary about getting onto my calendar, it's $450 an hour. But listen, so that crime had been committed. I just think, man, for all my cop viewers, don't be a cop off duty. Yeah. Just let it go, right? Okay, so the guys were jerks, so they were doing something wrong. I say this all the time. I see people do illegal stuff all the time. Yeah. I ain't a snitch. Whatever. Have a nice day. You know, go on with your day. Now, does that mean our hot-headed morons should have bashed his back window in?
No.
No.
Absolutely not.
Guess what? You earned some stupidity there. You earned a stupid tax by doing that. Now, okay, he's going to get out, investigate. Now he's got 2 dudes. Could I see a place where against 2 large men, I end up pulling a gun because I'm like, these guys are going to put me in the hospital? Right. Maybe. Yep. Maybe, but is it smart? No. I created the conflict back in the car.
Right. Drive away. Again, depending on what they did, call 911, give them your badge number. I'm off duty, but I just witnessed this, and they'll deal with it.
Or this just happened to me. I drove off, and I want a complaint sworn out on these guys. I need a couple of on duties. You probably get prompt service.
You're a cop. I would think they would jump on that. Absolutely, yeah.
As opposed to us lowly peasants that, it might be hours and hours before they show up.
Days and days. No injury?
Days and days, yeah.
No injury.
Maybe next week sometime, or take it to civil court or whatever. But he probably gets, some prompt service on that. Now, they did know he was a cop.
Yes, I think you have to assume that they did. I know they saw his gun. He told them he was a cop. I couldn't really tell. I watched the video twice whether you could see his badge. I wasn't 100% sure on that. So did he say he was a cop? Clearly. Does that mean he's a cop? Not necessarily. But yes, they certainly had reason to believe he was a cop. I think you have to say that.
I think if they had reason to believe that, I think one of your best things is, whoa, man, I don't want to fight.
Right.
911, what's your emergency? Right. I have somebody claiming to be a cop who's holding me at gunpoint here.
Yep.
And he's pointing a gun at me, and I need to verify.
Perfect.
Right? And
I'm going to do that if two police officers ring my doorbell at 3 in the morning. I'm going to call their badge numbers in and verify they're cops before I open the door. Mm-hmm. From my back bedroom, looking on the video screen, talking to them through my Ring doorbell. I'm not even going to approach them until I verify that they're cops and they're supposed to be there.
Yeah. I have a funny story I'm not going to tell on camera about verifying that a couple of guys that were honestly Phoenix PD, that they were at my house, though not in an official law enforcement capacity, but they were kind of presenting themselves as so. And so I just called dispatch. Are these guys on duty right now? Or is there somebody at my house? And dispatch said, we don't show anybody on official business at the house. And, hi, fellas. You may step off my property right now. Thank you very much. Anyways, it's a story for another day. And so I just think there was a ton of stupid to go around here,
big time.
Right? And because once they decide, oh, okay, this guy is pointing a gun at us, and the one decides, yeah, I think he's a cop. The other one says, I don't know if he's a cop. Or, yeah, he is, but he's wrong, and he's doing wrong stuff to us. Dude, if you do believe he's a cop, and you grab that gun, you're going to jail, man.
You're going to prison.
You're going to prison. Yeah. Now you're assaulting a police officer. Yep. The gun goes off, shoots him in the leg. You get shot in the foot. Now you might be liable for aggravated assault on a police officer for that bullet wound.
Almost undoubtedly will be, yeah.
And now, dude, ag assault on a protected person?
Yeah.
You're talking 20 years.
Well, there's like 3 different levels of ag assault there, yeah. So
so, I mean, I don't know, what's the presumptive on ag assault on a police officer in Arizona?
On a cop, it's probably 10. Yeah.
10 years.
Yeah.
I got in trouble for this. I had somebody get upset at me for calling prison the Heine Poke Hotel. Because that was making fun of...
I have to go back and watch these and just write all this stuff down that comes out of his mouth.
Well, because it was making fun of prison rape, and that's not a joke. And I agree it's not a joke, but it's a hell of a reason to stay out of prison.
Yeah, exactly. It's not supposed to be fun.
And we call it that for a reason, because prison rape is real and terrible and wrong and real.
But it doesn't count. That's what Tony Soprano told me.
But it does count. So who's the stupid one in this video?
Plenty to go around.
Yeah,
the first stupid one to me is the cop, because if he'd just driven on, none of this would have happened, right? You can't be Batman. You can't just stop and walk down every dark alley that you think you need to walk down, and that's just a recipe for disaster.
Well, and okay, was he legally allowed to back up?
Sure.
Yes. But it was not good, sane, sober, moral, and prudent.
I'm legally allowed to take off my shirt and sit here and do this topless like Bert Kreischer. Suddenly you'd lose a lot of viewers. It doesn't make it smart.
Be interesting.
No, trust me, it would be way more horrifying.
Shirtless Fridays with Tim Forshey.
No.
Fresco Friday.
We went to R-rated right there. That's horrific. Yeah.
So it's legal. Doesn't mean it's smart.
Nope.
So these guys, they yip at this guy who's yipping at them. Might be legal. I mean, it's legal to tell somebody they're an asshole, but it's not smart.
No, not usually.
It escalates conflict. They did the first illegal thing by bashing in his window.
Right.
Now, I guess there's some discussion there because there was some idea that said, well, did he like trade some paint with them or something? But regardless, whacking him with a crowbar in the back of his car isn't going to be justifiable.
Not to mention, I mean, the cop, again, I didn't have a yardstick there, but it looked to me like the cop's a good head shorter than both of the guys.
Yeah.
So you're going into a property-only crime situation, knowing that it's 2 to 1. They looked younger, larger, and fitter than the cop himself. Knowing that he's not justified in using lethal force. Maybe in New York you're allowed to threaten like you are in Arizona, but even if you are, it's really stupid. So he went into a situation where he knew he couldn't control it with regular physical force, and he went into it anyway.
Yeah.
Just on all counts. I mean,
and without good weapon retention skills.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I mean, yeah, we saw that.
I mean, his weapon retention skills were abysmal.
Yep. So again, you would hope a cop would know better. I don't know what to say, but.
So, There are legal issues here, but there are far more good, sane, sober, moral, prudent issues here,
Yep.
right? So again, don't go stupid places with stupid people at stupid times and do stupid things.
Thank you, Mr. Farnham.
In this case, there are lots of stupid things to go around. And again, when you put the quarter in the jukebox, you get to listen to the song.
Yep.
Tim, I appreciate the analysis.
As always, buddy, thank you.